How is everybody doing on this fandamntastic day? I, as always and forever will be, am TrailerPlayDave. Let's get started, shall we? Let me tell you about the worst day of my life. I'm not easily frightened by much, but at work I was fearing for my life. I work in an animal shelter with dogs. I take them out to use the bathroom, clean their kennel, feed them, and then bring them back inside. It's a fairly simple process, and 2 days out of the week I do it on days we're closed, so I'm there by myself. Well, today was that day that I was there by myself doing my job. Yesterday I had the day off, so it's not uncommon for me to come in and new dogs be out in the kennels. Now, to help myself so I don't have to listen to the dogs constantly bark, I wear headphones and listen to music. It doesn't completely drown the noise, but it's much more manageable than if you don't do anything at all. 40 dogs constantly barking, it will get to you since you're in there for about 2 hours. I start my day just as I do any other day by taking the first group out and putting my music in to help keep my sanity in check. I go from the different areas where the dogs are in a specific order. First, the room we call dog isolation. If any dogs are in the puppy runs, I grab them as well. Then I make my way to the guard dog runs and follow that with the dogs in receiving. It was a normal day and I had no problems with any of the dogs. Some days are better than others, but typically they all go out fairly well. After all the other areas are done, I make my way to the main dog kennels. I like to walk the room before starting to see who's new, so that's what I did. I noticed one new dog. It was a black and tan Rottweiler. He came up to the front of the gate, wagging his tail, and let me pet him. I continued my walk through, and he was the only one that I saw that was new. I worked down the line on one side, taking dogs outside so I could clean their kennels. Drowning out the sound of the barking, my music played in my ears and I sang along with it. I got to the new dog, took him out. He was very obedient, walked beside me, and made our way outside. I opened the gate for the run outside, and he walked right in. I latched, locked the gate just in case he knows how to pop the latch and escape. Making my way back inside, I continued my routine. Brought them all back in and took out the next set of dogs. Walking back inside, where I'm letting the last group out, I noticed the Rottweiler facing the back of the kennel, staring up at the wall. I've seen dogs do this before, and I always wondered what they were looking at. I didn't think much of it, and continued towards the dirty kennels that needed to be cleaned. Music blaring in my ear, water blasting the floor clean, and me just going through the motions of another day in the shelter. I stopped spraying and looked around. I looked to my left, then my right, pausing the music so I could hear the world clearly. Nothing but silence was around me. It was odd. No dogs barking or anything. I decided to take a walk around and see what was going on. I looked in each kennel and every dog was quiet, staring at me as I passed. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, well, with the exception of the dogs being so quiet. I got to the new dog. He was still staring at the top of the back of the wall of the kennel. I looked up at the wall and shrugged it off. Sometimes I wonder what they're thinking when they're like that. I turned my music back on and started cleaning kennels again. Probably wasn't even 5 minutes in and heard my name being called out again. I stopped the music, looked around, nobody was there. I pulled the headphones down around my neck and let them rest there. Hello? Is someone there? I questioned as if expecting a response. There was nothing but the eerie silence that settled in. Hearing it the first time, I didn't think anything of it. I've done it before while listening to music and the dogs barking. Though, this time, the dogs aren't barking. And this is the second time I've heard it, my name being called out. I decided to work without the music and went back to spraying the kennels. A few minutes later, a third time, I heard it again. This time, there was no mistaking it. I didn't have the music to distract me. My name was being called out. I slowly walked toward the direction that I believed my name was being called from. I passed the dogs, looking into each kennel to make sure nobody was hiding, waiting to jump out at me. I came across the new dog, still sitting there, looking at the top of the back wall. "Hey, pup, is someone up there?" I questioned as if the dog was going to answer me. Still as a statue, or a guard at Buckingham Palace, he stared at the same spot since I brought him in. I rattled the kennel door in hopes he'd turn his attention to me, but it was no use. There was some food that had been scattered on the floor, so I picked it up and lightly tossed it at him. The pieces bounced off of him, but he still stood there in the same position. I hated to do this, but there wasn't any other choice. This dog was freaking me out. I pulled the lever with my thumb to unlatch the clip on the gate. The spring felt heavier than normal. Maybe it was because I was uneasy hearing my name being called out by something that isn't actually here, and that this dog has become a statue since I brought him in. I let the clip drop. The chain it was connected to stop it from falling to the floor. I pulled the latch up and opened the gate. The dog didn't move a muscle. I closed and latched the gate shut. I suppose it was out of habit. I kneeled down and inched my way closer to the motionless dog. I reached my hand towards him, snapped my fingers close to his ear. No response. To say I'm freaked out now is putting it lightly. Never have I seen a dog that was so obsessed or that obedient not to move a muscle when a noise is that close. I reach out with my index finger and give him a light poke to the back. My finger pressed against his fur and it sinks in a little as a quiet, "Hey, are you okay?" escapes my mouth. The dog doesn't even flinch, just continues to stare at the wall. My mind racing, not knowing what to do, I turn around. I reach for the gate and start to open it, and that's when I hear it. "Where are you going?" a voice calls out to me. Horrified, I slowly turn my head in the direction that the voice calls out from. Out of the corner of my eye, as I'm turning my head, I can see the dog. He's facing me now, looking directly in my face. I push my back against the fence. I scramble to get the latch open to make my retreat. The dog has a smile upon his face as I frantically try to make my escape. "You don't want to play?" The voice echoes in my head. The dog's mouth didn't move. This wasn't Scooby. He seems to be communicating through telepathy. I fall out of the kennel and slam the gate shut, jumping up to latch it and clip it. I stood there staring at the dog, his laughter filling my head. There's no way this is real, I thought to myself. This dog can't be communicating with me. This is a dream, just a horrible nightmare that I can't wake up from. I reached for my arm and pinched myself. The pain from the pinch told me it was real. The dog's laughter, even louder now. "This is as real as it gets, Johnny boy." My attention adverted to him, and I try to think of why this was happening. I walk away. The voice can still be heard as I make my way towards the back. I go through the door that leads from the main kennel to the back room, in which we call receiving. "Do you think running away is going to save you?" I shake my head and walk faster towards the time clock. I press my finger on the reader so it can clock me out. "Please, try again." The voice commands me, letting me know it didn't clock me out. I press my finger on it again. "Please, try again." I tried a third time. Again, the voice commands me. "Please, try again." The dog's laughter fills my head. "Oh, can't get out of here." Screw it. I walk out the building and towards my car. I jump in and turn the key in the ignition as it comes to life. I look back in the rearview mirror before pulling out of the parking spot, and that's when I see him. How? There's no way he could have gotten out. I locked the gate. I know I did. I turn around and to my surprise, the dog isn't there. My mind must be playing tricks on me. Am I going crazy? I slam it into reverse and squeal tires as I make my way out of work. I pull up to the gate and have to get out to put in the code to let myself out. I swing the gate open and turn towards my car, my eyes filled with shock and horror in the front cat room. In the windows, I see him staring at me. I rub my eyes and make sure it's truly something I see. When I return my gaze upon the window, he's gone. I don't stick around to figure it out, to think of the possibilities. I jump in my car and tires chirp as I drive off in a hurry. I make it home, slamming the door shut, and I can't believe this is happening. I must be going crazy. On the drive home, every time I looked in the side mirror, there he was. On the corner of the gas station, I saw him. When I switched lanes right before getting onto the freeway, he was there, staring at me. I slid down the door and buried my head into my knees. I just want to hide for a few minutes. A wet tongue finds my arm, and I look up. My dog Athena has come to welcome me home. She's wagging her tail, and I place my hand on her head to pet her. Standing up, I make my way to the bedroom. My companion wanders off in another direction. I close the door and let myself collapse on the bed. I lay there thinking about the day. I shot up and just remembered I never let the dogs back in or close the front gate to the entrance. I shot a text to the manager, explained the whole situation, and waited for a response. So that's where I am now, waiting for a response. Soft scratches from the door are audible. I look over to the door. Athena must want in. I speak through the door to her. You should have come in when I came up. I reach for the door and twist the knob. I open it and horror floods over me. It's him. I would have been here sooner, but it was a long walk. His laughter fills my head. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and feel free to share it with some friends, leave a comment, hit the like button, and to subscribe. But remember to always have a fandamntastic day.